Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of Face the Bully. I know I've been talking about, like the makings of the American bully for a minute. I know I've been sitting here pointing out dogs, that could have been, that are, not could have been, that are part of the makeup of, you know, the Razor's Edge dog, part of the makeup, you know, because in order for you to know about the dog, then maybe you need to see some pictures. You probably need to see some pictures of these old school dogs, even though it's already been said that, a few people have said that we're not breeding the old school way. So this is where your new making of your new bully comes from. The big the bully with the mass on it. The shorter bully. Seems like some of their heads are even flattening out. But they're becoming more wider and more extreme. This is your new bully. So, when you got a new bully, nah, they're not breeding the old school way. They're not really breeding the Razor's Edge way. There's a whole different direction going on there, and it's noticeable, It's pretty noticeable in the whole community. But when you want to get to know the lineage and some of the dogs of Edge, yeah, excuse me, just, when you want to get to know that lineage, then it's good to just dig into the program for a little while and see where, some of the dogs came from that were put in Razor's Edge, as we know it. You know what I'm saying? As we know the Edge, because, clearly it's been remade. Clearly it's not the same dog. The dog of today doesn't look like Gotti. The dog of today doesn't look like Edge. The dog of today is taking on its own totally different feature. The dog of today. And I guess you gotta respect it, because this is the way that this generation is visioning this dog. And being led, and taught, by a few OG registry guys, owners, following the lead of the registry of dogs that are coming from the registry. Once the registry changes, it's giving you the right to change too. Like, although you may like a Razor's Edge dog, I don't know. Razor's Edge most definitely turns heads, but no, Razor's Edge is not the style nor the quality of dog that's, really being bred, that they even want to breed. You're gonna have to accept the bulldog being in the breed now. It's there. Might not be on the pedigree, you might not ever see a breeding like that. You might not ever be able to say these people did it, but I bet you'll see one done in a garage or in a shed or something somewhere. You'll see one done. But, you ain't going to be able to say somebody in the game did it. And this particular dog, we saw him bred this way and registered. You know, although there is some people that can point out some dogs like that, you know. I mean, the bulldog has not only snuck his way in, but made itself known, just took a seat. Just came in and took a seat in the American Bully world. But from the beginning of time, was he there? From the beginning of time? And you know what? To some people, it don't even matter. We don't even care about the beginning of time. But, you know, there are some people that still do care about the beginning of time and what dogs were really used to make this program. Because you got so many people that's just, man, we don't give two craps about how Razor's Edge was born. We don't even care. We ain't even breeding that style of dog no more. And that's, you know, for a person to be that blunt, that you know, just straight out that blunt to say we don't breed that dog no more, you know what I'm saying? Takes a lot of courage, because you just don't know. You know, a lot went into creating that dog. A lot went into creating Razor's Edge, you know? But at the same time, you know, we all, as pit bull fanciers and people who grew up with pits and staffs, we all are people who, you know, once upon a time had our own vision of dogs a long time ago, because the dogs we grew up with didn't even look like Razor's Edge dogs. Like some of the dogs we grew up with, you personally, me personally, they didn't look like that, because some of the dogs, you know, that I was growing up with, they were red, none were blue, none were silver, none were gray, none. They were black, piebald, brindle piebald. You barely had any like fawns and tans and browns and things like that. You barely had that in these dogs. You barely had it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be truthful, the dogs, man, they were brindle, they were black, they were red, they were reddish fawn, you know. They they were never blue. They were never they were never blue, they were never gray. You know, these dogs wasn't tri-colored dogs when we was, you know what I'm saying, younger and growing up with dogs ourselves. Now, in different parts of the country, they could have been that. They could have been tri-colored dogs looking like Rottweilers. We didn't have Rottweiler pit bulls running around most parts of California. They were red dogs. People, you know, were heavily into red-nosed pit bull terriers. The Colby pit. And then, you know, you had the black pits. You know what I'm saying? You had the black and whites. You know, you had the brindles, like, man, like crazy. You had brindles. Like the dogs that were then, you don't even see dogs look like that no more. You see testicle dogs and platinum dogs and phantom dogs and lilac dogs. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, testicle. What is that? You know, all this stuff that you pretty much don't know how to make, don't know how to create. Ain't nobody gonna tell you how they made this dog. Ain't nobody gonna tell you how they created this dog. This is the reason why I have been doing a lot of videos focusing heavily just on the American Bully and how it should possibly should look, from just looking at a ruffian dog or a Staffordshire dog or a pit bull terrier. These dogs without the bulldog. without the bulldog. These were champion dogs from the Harwin lines. These were champion dogs from the Harwin lines. There's Harwin dogs inside of the American Bully. Harwin ruffian dogs. The Harwin line. Watchdog was a kennel. There has been pictures that have popped up of watchdog kennels. Hopefully there'll be more pictures that'll pop up of the watchdog kennels, so we can see exactly what a watchdog that was put into the American Bully program really looked like, and a Ryan dog really looked like. Because you had the American Pit Bull put into the Bully, the American Staffordshire Terrier put into the Bully, which is a strain of an American Pit Bull Terrier. And then you had the Ruffian put into the Bully, which is a strain of Staffordshire Terrier. So, you know, the dogs go back Terrier, all the way back Terrier. So you want to dig into a lot of Terrier programs to see what these Terriers look like, and do these Terriers bring about all these colors, which we know that they don't. And a lot of the Staffordshire dogs swayed backwards. Kind of makes you think and wonder, should the American Bully be swaying backwards like a staff? See, because when people say we don't even breed that way no more, well, then obviously you're saying, well, we've crossed this dog with bulldog. It's going to stay crossed. And every time we feel like the blood is getting too tight, we'll cross it again. You know, will you know the recipe to an extreme? How did you make your extreme? Is your extreme made the same way as the next guy's extreme? These are the reason for some of my Staffordshire video bullies I've been putting up here, because, you know, the American Bully is made up of a lot of Staffordshire Terrier. And it really should be just said like that the dog is made up of a lot of Staffordshire Terrier and Pit Bull Terrier. You know, there's a lot of names being given to dogs that throws people off to where they don't, you know what I'm saying, they looking for a name. They ain't really looking for the bloodline of that dog. See, the Ruffian was an actual dog. He was a champion himself. See, but when y'all hear about Ruffian, y'all think Ruffian bloodline. Although there is a Ruffian bloodline. But you have to understand, the Ruffian was an actual dog himself. He was a champion dog. You know what I'm saying? See, that's for the people who say we have Ruffian in our dog, and you know nothing about Ruffian. You haven't even done your work on that. You haven't done your work on none of the dogs that they say was in this program. Now, you might not come across the dogs that they actually used. No, we wasn't, you know, around when you was creating that Razor's Edge. But trust me, there was people around here that was creating dogs that should have might as well been Razor's Edge too, because in California, man, you know what I'm saying, Pit Bulls is a number one thing. It's a number one thing around the street sometimes. But when the Edge came around, and you know what I'm saying, it just seemed like everybody wanted a blue dog or a silver dog or a gray dog. You know, and that they didn't want tricolored dogs off the top, because tricolored dogs wasn't really it. That was the time of the blue dog era. That was the time of the blue dog era. And a lot of the blue dogs used to have them kink tails. That was the time of the blue dog era. They didn't actually turn tri at that time. Then they became tried. People wanted to try it. Now they come in testicle and lilac and ghost and phantom. It's a wave of colors. So the bully is just went its own way. I mean, like, it really would take a registry to just say, hey, this is the way that the dog is supposed to look. And if he don't walk through the door looking like this, then, he ain't going to win nothing. He may not even be able to even come through the door. Like I say, sometimes you need to just have it to where American bullies go to the dog shows and there's no exotics allowed in. And exotics can go to the dog shows where there's no American bullies allowed in. You can't mix the two. Now you're seeing pedigrees and things with exotics on them. Clearly, exotics on them. Clearly. It's always an argument about it. This ain't an exotic. This is a bully. This is how a bully is supposed to look. Oh, man. It'll be that said like 15 times over. So you're never going to win an argument. I don't even know why you would try to do that, but to sit back and, try to educate yourself on a dog, it shouldn't be a bad thing. To sit back and want to know what is American bully? What really is an American bully? And then you sit back and you look at these dogs and you look at how tall these dogs were. They had legs and actual hawks. They had feet. Their feet were nice. They had toenails that were nice. Their shoulders were, some of their shoulders were going inward towards the chest, not sitting out, bulked outwards like a bulldog. The feet were going inward. The legs were going inward, like under the chest. The legs are supposed to be under the chest. Now you have American bullies. There's no standard to the legs. The standard to the legs is none. I mean, and if it is a standard to the leg, then why are they all bowed out? Now, when it comes to the ABKC bullies, there have been a lot of nice bullies in that ring. I've been seeing a lot of, this last dog show that just went past, I think it was this weekend. It was a lot of nice dogs in that ring. The American bully is a nice buff dog now, point blank and period. No matter how you look at it, it's a nice buff dog now. It has to be buff. If your American bully isn't buff, it's lacking feature for real. I like my dog. Don't get it twisted. I like her look. I like everything about her, but she's gonna have to have some substance and some mass that's gonna have to be added to it. If you want to compete in any ring, your dog has to really have substance and mass to it. Is it going to get it from the American bully? Which American bully? I mean, as an American bully fancier, are you allowed to breed to a ruffian dog? You should be. Are you allowed to breed to a watchdog? You should be. If you want to just go breed to a watchdog and you got one of these bullies out here and you want to go breed to a watchdog, you should be able to breed to it. If you want to go breed to a Ryan dog, you should be able to breed to that Ryan dog. You should be able to go breed to that band dog. You just shouldn't be able to breed to a Mastiff. You shouldn't be able to breed to a Cane Corso, which I do believe that a lot of that blue stuff has came from generations on back. You can't breed to a Presa Canario. You can't breed to a Catahoula Bulldog. But those are breedings that have been done, in order to acquire some of these colors. But at least when you breed to those dogs, you don't come out with an unhealthy dog. You'll still come out with a tall dog, broad dog. See, when you go and breed to the bulldog, we are, it's a thing. People can already see it. It's like breeding to a chihuahua. You can already see it. Certain dogs will let you know that, man, you bred that dog to this kind of dog. You can already see it. You can already see it. And, a lot of people nowadays don't even give a damn. They'll breed a dog to anything. And even if you see it, just as long as if you say you like it, then they'll roll with it. This is the reason for them videos. So you can see how broad that dog was, how straight his back was anyway, how thick his neck was anyway. You can't I hear a lot of people say, I'm going to make his neck thick. I'm looking for mass. I'm looking for legs. I'm looking for a bigger back. You looking to fuck the dog up, mess the dog up, excuse me. You looking to mess the dog up. Because if you look at a Staffordshire or a Pit Bull, they already built like that anyway. If you look at a Ryan dog, he's already built like that anyway. When you look at a watchdog, he's already built. How are you adding mass and chest and all of this stuff to a dog? How? Because the dog already got it. So if you're doing it, you're going to be making this dude a giant. If you do it. You ain't going to be making him shorter with mass. Anytime you make that dog shorter, you bred him to a shorter dog. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You could have bred him to a Chinese bulldog. Nobody know. You could have went and got you a Chinese bulldog and bred to it. You could have went and got you a regular Frenchie and bred to it. Well, we already know you bred to the Frenchie and the English, so it ain't no hiding that. And what you mean hiding? They was never trying to hide it. But now at the same time, it's never put on the paperwork. It's never put on the paperwork. I don't see no Frenchies on the paperwork, but you'll see some exotics on the paperwork. Exotics are all over American Bully paperwork. Like, even if you breed to a dog with a bulldog feature, with bulldog features on his face or anything like that, with that muggle tone, mugsy looking face, man, if he look like a bulldog, he is a bulldog. If he even got traits of it in there, he is a bulldog. And if you bred to it, then you put it in your program. This is why your dogs be coming out short, because you got that trait in there, that bulldog trait. And a lot of people know they got that trait in there, and they want that trait in there because that's the only way you're going to get a pocket. Without that trait, you will not get a pocket. You ain't finna get no pocket without that trait. Ain't gonna happen. So you do things to the dogs, but never put it on the paperwork. This is why a lot of Face the Bully videos lately have been with pictures. Because you need to see how big the ears was on the dogs before, you even decide to cut them. And why they never come out with king tails and bow-legged feet and king tails. Them king tails. Don't do that no more. Don't do the king tail thing no more. That right there, yeah, that right there drive a person crazy because everybody know where them king tails come from. Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. That was funny. Yo, so don't do that no more. Okay? See, because the game is changing. It's just evolving. And it's all evolving from the bulldogs, man, the bulldog blood. So therefore, I just want to take a look at what the dogs look like before bulldog was added to the program. No disrespect. Not trying to shame the new dogs or anything, because to me, like I said, in certain regions, certain people had dogs of different colors and sizes and shapes and forms anyway. And around the areas where we were growing up at, they were red, they were black, they were brindle, They were white. They were pied, you know. But none of the colors, testicle, phantom, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think you were seeing sables. Isabel, no, Isabel, no, Isabel wasn't around. Isabel was not around. See? That's what I'm talking about. All these colors wasn't here yet. These colors popped up from breeding other dogs. So it's never a bad thing to look back in history at the dogs that really actually came first. Like the ruffian dog, which, you know what I'm saying, in our area, we probably wasn't even breeding to no ruffian dog around here. We was just straight breeding the pit bulls. Pit bulls, and you know what? They were taking on bully formation. Because some of the people that were older than us that had them pit bulls were probably breeding them to Staffordshires without us even knowing. You know, being a little bit too young to even know. But we knew we seen these dogs with these big old box heads. Didn't know nothing about no C-sections because the dogs used to have their own pups. Used to be breeding and everything by themselves. Came a long way from that to this. You know what I'm saying? A long way, man, from that to this. So that's my main reason for showing pictures on some of these Face the Bullies, because, you know, some people just really want to know what these dogs used to look like before they started just looking like they look right now, like a bulldog. I like the dogs. You know, don't get it twisted. I like them, but they do look like bulldogs. And, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole bully community, always, all the time. Never no disrespect to the bullies. I love the bullies. I love dogs, man. I love the bully community. I love dogs. You know, I may not like the way some of the dogs are being bred. You may not like the way some of the dogs are being bred. So we all, you know, speak on it without being disrespectful. And you know what I'm saying? We try to come together as one and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? As one. Sharpen each other's brain, you know. Instead of coming up with channels to, you know, disrespect each other, just come up with a channel, you know, that where we could talk about dogs. Because some of us really do want to talk about dogs. You know what I'm saying? So until I come back, my friends, and I will be back right here on Face the Bully.